Blood, handcuffs, screams. This wasn't just another love and hip-hop meltdown. This was war. A war caught between betrayal and heartbreak. Stevie J in cuffs, Lil Scrappy in a hospital bed, and all of it unfolding while the cameras kept rolling, like nothing happened. Ask yourself this: what kind of betrayal breaks a man so badly he's carried out on a stretcher while the other one is dragged away screaming a woman's name like it's a curse? This wasn't fake drama for ratings. This was real, raw, ruthless, and someone's trying to bury the truth deeper than Stevie's last comeback attempt. We're talking leaked texts, explosive audio clips, and a backstage brawl so wild, one staff member said it felt like watching Mike Tyson square up with Suge Knight in a broom closet. What started it all? A years-long feud, a woman at the center of it, and a betrayal so cold it nearly stopped Scrappy's heart. Think you've seen drama before? Not like this. Because what happened behind those studio doors just pulled the mask off the ugliest secrets reality TV ever tried to hide. The chaos exploded during an exclusive sold-out Love and Hip Hop reunion taping. Cameras weren't even supposed to be rolling when fists started flying, but insiders couldn't keep quiet. Backstage tension had been building for weeks. Scrappy, still emotionally wrecked from his fallout with Bambi, showed up like a man with something to prove. Stevie J, he came in loud, drunk, and smug, like he was the puppet master of it all. Security clocked the tension from the second their eyes met. Everybody knew something was coming. Nobody expected it to blow up like this. Before filming even began, Mamadee was pacing backstage, hands flailing, demanding answers. If y'all let Bambi and Stevie in the same room as my baby, I swear I'm tearing this whole place down. No one listened. Now here we are, shattered glass, felony charges, ICU reports that read contusions, internal bleeding, possible concussion. Here's what went down. Scrappy was getting mic'd up in the green room. Stevie J strutted in with two goons dressed like they were auditioning for a rap video. One witness said Stevie made a joke. Hope nobody's still crying over Bambi's OnlyFans. She made more money than y'all in a weekend. Scrappy didn't take that lightly. He stood up, tossed his phone, and fired back. You still talking after what you did? You a whole clown, Stevie. Silence. Then Stevie leaned in, whispered something nobody wants to repeat. That's when Scrappy lunged, chairs flew. One of Stevie's boys slammed into a wall so hard a painting fell off. Somebody screamed. A producer shouted, "Cut the feed!" But it was too late. By the time security separated them, Scrappy had a busted lip. Stevie was gasping, gripping his ribs. Then it got worse. Allegedly, Stevie pulled a silver switchblade. Not a prop. The real thing. Security tackled him before he could do anything. Scrappy collapsed, clutching his side. Paramedics were called. Stevie J left the set in cuffs. Scrappy left on a stretcher. The crowd, screaming. TMZ, already outside. The hospital. One nurse said the flashbulbs looked like the Oscars. Mamadee, never one to hold back, staged a full-blown press conference in front of the police station. I told y'all Stevie J was poison. That man been feeding off drama since 2003, and now my baby's laid up in a hospital bed. But that's not even the juiciest part. Sources claim this wasn't just a fight. This was a setup. Turns out, Stevie J and Bambi were secretly working on a new reality spin-off called Bambi and the Bad Guy, a show that didn't even include Scrappy. Mona Scott herself allegedly approved the pilot. Scrappy found out just days before the reunion. The Biden betrayal cut deep. And now it all makes sense. Why he came in hot, why he lashed out, why everything spiraled. But here's the twist. Scrappy's ER report showed more than injuries. Allegedly, hospital staff found high doses of sedatives in his system. Stuff that doesn't just show up unless someone slips it in. Was Scrappy drugged? One crew member said he was slurring words and stumbling even before Stevie showed up. If that's true, this wasn't a fight. It was a takedown. Stevie's team released. A one-liner. Stevie J maintains his innocence and will not be commenting. Meanwhile, Bambi? She went live on Instagram, full glam, wine in hand. All I'ma say is, y'all only know half the story. When the tea drops, don't act brand new. Comments were ruthless. You set him up. You dirty for this. You the devil. She ended her live with a wink. Season premiere coming soon. Oh, and Stevie J just hired a top entertainment lawyer linked to the Kardashians. That same guy who once said, "I don't do drama." Scrappy's lawyers aren't playing either. They've sent a cease and desist to Mona Scott's production team, demanding all fight footage be handed over. And just when you thought it couldn't, Get Messier leaked backstage surveillance shows a blur of bodies, screaming, and Stevie J lunging right before the footage cuts out. Why'd the camera cut? Why was Scrappy in that room? He was supposedly done filming, but 2 rooms down, Bambi was filming a confessional. Mona, doing what Mona does, brought Stevie in for a surprise twist. Scrappy wasn't told. When he found out, he stormed through. A wall. Literally. Kicked through a prop, screamed, "Y'all think I'm weak? I'll show you weak." The fight wasn't for TV. It was personal. One security guard said, "We've seen drinks thrown, sure, but this wasn't a scene." That man was fighting like he'd been betrayed in real life. Cameras? They kept rolling. Mona locked the footage in a vault. Legal review underway. But don't be surprised if it's remixed into a mid-season trailer. Scrappy left with dislocated, knuckles busted pride, and a panic attack so bad he collapsed in a hospital hallway. They thought he overdosed. Turns out it was heartbreak. Meanwhile, Stevie was quietly escorted out the side exit to dodge paparazzi. Charges pending. Reps claiming he was the victim. Online, chaos. Scrappy snaps trended for 12 hours. Memes flooded in. One showed Scrappy holding Bambi's baby with the caption, "I fought for this family." But not everyone was laughing. Critics called him unstable, aggressive, immature. And Bambi? She went live again. This time, crying. "I tried to protect Scrappy," she sniffed. "Y'all don't know the half." Her bestie kept whispering, "Don't say too much." But she said enough. Said Scrappy had secrets. That's what we're about to find out. The courtroom was tense. No cameras, no audience. Just silence, security, and stories waiting to detonate. Stevie J walked in like a man on a mission. Lil Scrappy limped in like a man who had nothing left to lose. Opening statements painted very different pictures. Scrappy's lawyers laid it out plain. Their client was ambushed, exploited, and publicly humiliated for a storyline. Stevie's team painted him as the voice of reason, a misunderstood peacemaker. The jury? They weren't convinced, and then came the evidence. Leaked screenshots, texts between Bambi and producers planning the shock factor. One message even said, "Scrappy gonna flip. Just make sure the cameras are rolling." Next, audio clips. Producers laughing, talking about manipulating emotions. One voice clearly says, "Let's poke him a bit. He's already on edge." Then came the witnesses. Mamadee took the stand. Rhinestones, attitude, and all. "My son was set up, point blank, period." She broke down mid-testimony, clutching her chest. The judge had to call a recess. When court resumed, the unexpected happened. Bambi flipped. Said she was pushed into everything. Said Mona promised her fame, money, and her own show. "I was scared to say no," she told the court. They said Scrappy's time was up, that this was the new chapter. Cue gasps. Then came Mona Scott's deposition. Pre-recorded, stone-faced. She denied knowing Scrappy would react violently. But emails say otherwise. One line read, "He's unpredictable. That's why it works." It was chaos. Reporters everywhere. Hashtags exploding. VH1 silent. Meanwhile, more leaks. Medical reports now showed Scrappy suffered not just physical trauma, but severe psychological stress. A condition doctors labeled as combat-grade betrayal response. And just when it seemed it couldn't get any messier, it did. A former Love and Hip Hop editor came forward. Said footage had been edited to make Scrappy look worse. Said Mona ordered clips to be rearranged. She wanted him to snap. She needed the moment. And then came the music. Scrappy dropped a second track. Paper cuts. It wasn't just a diss. It was a breakdown. A man bleeding into the mic. One lyric went viral. They played me like a villain, but I was the only one real in the site. Room? Streaming numbers? Exploded. Interviews followed. Oprah's team allegedly reached out. Meanwhile, Stevie J vanished. Rumors he fled the country. Others say he's negotiating a tell-all docu-series of his own. Bambi? She's gone quiet. No posts, no lives, just silence. But mamadee? Louder than ever. Launching a podcast, filming a Netflix docu-series, and working on a memoir titled Royal. Pain, My Son, My Truth. And VH1, still under fire, staff quitting, sponsors backing out. Lawsuits piling up. And in the midst of all this mess, one question echoes through every headline, every blog, every barbershop and salon. Who really set up Scrappy? Because this isn't just reality TV anymore. This is personal. This is war. And baby, we haven't seen the last of it. Stay messy, stay woke, stay tuned.